This message goes out to the dependent children who are adults. Yeah, I'm going to get on your butts again. What you need to learn how to do is you need to learn how to be honest with yourself and with your life. Some of you are running around here 30, 40 years old, never had a lease in your name, never had a car payment. I've spoken about this before in previous audios, but there's one thing that I didn't address, and that is the fact that you have been lying to your parents and guardians from day one. Every time they call you, it's a lie. They'll ask you about school. You lied about that. They'll ask you about your living conditions. You've lied about that. They've asked you about your job. You've lied about that. You've done nothing but lie and lie and lie. And what happens is, later on down the road, you find yourself in a situation where the only person that can help you is going to be that parent or guardian. And you're going to need their help. And you're going to remember the fact that you've lied completely about their lifestyle. Because if all of a sudden you find yourself homeless, let's just talk about that situation. Let's say that you were supposed to be staying somewhere. You're supposed to be staying in the school dorm. You're supposed to be taking your classes. You're supposed to be in the dorm. You're supposed to be working part-time at the library or the caf or the bookstore or whatever. You're supposed to be living a college life. And come to find out this past semester you dropped out. You've been dropped out for 3-4 months. You've been coming home like, on school breaks, with your laundry, wearing the gear, playing the role, but you've dropped out. Okay. When you finally realize you can't stay on campus for only so long. Most cases, if you're not actively taking classes on campus, they won't let you stay. But on some campuses, if you're in an off-campus apartment, depending on how that arrangement is made with the real estate company or the landlord, they may let you stay maybe one semester because you could be on academic probation or suspension and probably trying to work that out. But when it gets into 2 semesters, you got to find somewhere to go. What you've been doing this whole time is you've been running the streets. You've been street hustling. Because something snapped in your mind when you dropped out of classes the semester before. You were already dabbling a little bit with that because you knew that little library, bookstore, caf job wasn't paying the bills for you. So you figure you go ahead and start dealing with the streets a little bit. And you let them folks in the street done mess your head up to the point where you can actually make this a lifestyle and make it a living, not telling you that your life will not last very long if you out there. They don't tell you that part. They just tell you how you can get the green. So you wind up dropping out of school because school is just not so appealing. Because you figure in your mind, why should I go to school and make just a fraction of what I can make in a week out in the street? That's what you're thinking. Your head's messed up. So you go ahead and you realize you can't stay on the campus anymore because you're not an enrolled student. You got to go somewhere else. Well, guess what? You didn't save up any of that money when you was running the street the semester before. You decided you were going to take that next semester and you were going to stack up as many bills as you can so you can go ahead and do what you need to do. Your silly behind, you need to listen to my audio about the dumb hustler. You became a young dumb hustler. Young and dumb. You done spent 4 months out of the year sitting on a college campus where you didn't have to worry about too much. Fake the front. And while you fake the front, your silly behind decide you're going to run the street and you balling out of control with the crazy parties and the expensive women and the fancy gear, but you didn't say one damn dime knowing that they're going to kick you out that next semester and you ain't got no money to move into a place to stay. You a dumb hustler. Young, dumb hustler. Am I saying you should, first of all, you shouldn't be involved in any of this. But let's just say you're in it. You're already out of school. And you got this whole semester to try to pull yourself out of it. Because more than likely, you probably got yourself on academic probation because you didn't take your ass to class because you was out in the streets. Okay. But you got that one semester to clean things up. But you got in your mind you ain't going to clean things up. So that means you got 4.5 months to go ahead and stack up your bills so you can get a place to stay. A townhouse, apartment, or something. And you mean to tell me after them 4.5 months, you ain't got no damn money? What? So now you're stuck. You done spent the whole 4.5 months having the whole family think that you're on campus. Well, technically you weren't. So you didn't lie to them, you just deceived them. What you were doing on campus didn't match what they were thinking. So yeah, you were off over to, this state university and that private college. Yeah, you were there and you were living there. Your ass just wasn't studying. So for 4.5 months, you done lied to the whole family, including your parents, including your grandparents, your sisters, your brothers, and everything else, saying that you going to go ahead and you working on school and this, that, and the other, and you running the streets. So on top of the fact that you told this lie, your silly behind got caught up in the streets, messing around with the wrong women, messing around with the wrong men, throwing away your money on bullshit. You ain't even stacked up your bills so you can go somewhere else when the semester was over with. You ain't even stacked up your bills. Come on. So now you're running around here trying to figure out what to do, and then you finally break down and realize that you fucked up, and you want to sit there and you want to boo-hoo and cry to mom and daddy. But the problem is that you've deceived them for 4.5 months. What do you think their reaction is going to be? You think that they're going to be okay with it? You think they're just going to go ahead and take you in with open arms and not say a word? Not ask questions? I'm going to tell you, that's a 50-50 situation. Don't use your familial rank as a child and just assume that they're going to go ahead and take you in and everything's okay. Like I said, it's a 50-50 situation. You're gambling. Your parents might turn around and do it after they give you the riot act, but that's only half the parents. I know some parents that will do it, but they'll give you the riot act. But then I know the other half of the parents, they be like, oh no, if that's the shit you were doing, tell them people out there in the street take care of your ass. Now I know some of you probably say, oh, well, they're being bad parents and the first group of people are the good parents. Shut up. It's not your place to judge those people. I think they're both being good parents. Either way, because you don't know the whole scenario as to what was going on in the household. You don't know what their spiritual beliefs are. You don't know what their value system is. You don't know how that child was raised. So depending on your spiritual beliefs and your value system and where you came from determines whether or not you let the child back in the house and help get them out of it, or if you let them learn a little tough love and have them hit the streets and develop a little appreciation for what they did have. So I think they're both sets of good parents. I'm not going to sit here and say who's right and who's wrong. But you as a child, that's a big-ass gamble to take. All this just because you wouldn't take your behind to class. A simple decision that could have been made 5 months before. And now here you are sitting on your mama's sofa or your daddy's sofa, and then you spend a semester after semester after semester talking about how you're going to do this and how you're going to do that and don't wind up doing nothing. This is the time where you got to establish yourself. But it all started with a stupid lie. It's not worth it. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your family, because that day may come where you may need them, and I'm speaking this from experience. And they're going to have a lot of questions to ask, and they're going to have a lot of concerns. Just saying.